Hello to my second video. I'm glad you're back again, and as promised I got today two things I want to show you. Not things. First is my running companion Nero, who is already nervous and running around. And second is I'm in a little forest behind my house, so I want to show you that everywhere you can find beautiful things in nature which are worth exploring. So I hope you're looking forward for the next run, and see you on the trail. He's Nero, my Portuguese water dog, and now together we take you on a run. Wait for me. Nero, go. Voran. Lauf.
Today's trail leads us through the Erholungswald in Glocknitz, aka as Harterwald. I start at the care home in Glocknitz and run a 3-kilometer trek through the forest, which has an altitude of approximately 100 meters. The few people who have seen my first video will now say, another short round? Now he told us the last time that it actually goes longer, and then something like that? Yes, I admit it, you're certainly right. Since I wanted to introduce you to Nero, and most of the video will be about him, I thought that this little morning round would be just right. Now really promised, in the next video there will be a longer run, 10 kilometers, sunrises and so on. You will see what you get out of it. At this point you can clearly see that the forest has recently been thinned out, which is not ideal for taking photos, but I wanted to use the rim light to take some action photos with Nero. First, I put Nero in his position, and as a good dog, he stayed seated. And now you can witness the first mistake that occurred to me on this run. Can you already imagine the beginner's mistake I made here? Yes, and at some point it became too stupid for Nero.
Sit! Richtig!
At that moment I was very resistant to learning and didn't even notice that I only cared about the settings of my camera. I could have done these settings before I sent Nero to his place. But at some point I was done and everything went very quickly.
Hier. Richtig.
You can see the results here. It's not that easy to capture a black dog in motion in the forest dim light. But a few photos didn't turn out too bad.
Nero, voran. Geh mal, geh mal.
Now I want to tell you a little bit about Nero. He's a 2-year-old male Portuguese water dog. As you can see, or rather will see, he's very lively, and as soon as I put my running garment on, there is no holding back. If you want to get a dog to run with right now, I'll have to slow you down a bit. Until the age of 1 year, dogs mustn't go running. And then you have to start with very short distances. Constant practice is also the order of the day, because he should listen to your commands, at least a little. And for this, daily training with the dog is unavoidable.
Ja, ja. So, jetzt ist wieder die Frage, wo es da weitergeht. Eigentlich gerade weiter. Ja, räumen wir ein bisschen zusammen. Halbwelt.
Here a small tree was knocked down and I put it away without further ado. And soon we can go on again.
Komm, wo bleibst du?
Yes, and every now and then he takes a little longer for sniffing around. So if you go running with a dog, you don't run the risk of running the best time. Although that's not what I'm on the trail for anyway.
For a break, Nero. Yeah, it's always important to make little breaks, not only during the running, but also for work, to get new inspiration, get new ideas, and load the batteries again. And for dogs it's even more important, so that you always have a water with you, so they can have a drink. As they're not able to sweat, it's very important to give them enough water to drink during a run. Don't forget that.
And here's what happens if you take the break too early.
Too much better. Yeah.
The inspiration for the next photo came right during this break.
Yes, here I found a nice spot next to the tree with some moss on the ground, and I think it's a good resting picture for Nero. So yeah, let's try. I don't know the background. I think we can make something with it. Yeah, but as you can see, the lighting conditions are not that good. So I will now check if we can get, maybe at another time, a better lighting to have a great picture.
I use the app Photopills, which I find quite handy to check on site when the sun will be at which position. As you can easily see in the AR view, the sun would come through the trees at about 6 o'clock in the evening. Of course, such on-site planning also means that you sometimes have to visit a photo location more than once. But as you will see, it usually pays off. That's why I wanted to show you the photo that I took while on this run, and also one that I took in the evening. I can tell you that you don't see the hardest part of such photos in this video. That was to teach Nero to lie quietly in his place when I sit down in front of him. The first picture has a slightly mystical effect, with the morning sun as a backlight, and would perhaps be a little better with a little fog. In the second photo you can see what the difference a little light can do. And the third picture is actually proof that Nero has eyes. When running, we always try to incorporate obedience exercises, so that if we do meet someone, Nero stays with me and doesn't do what comes to his mind. These are those almost daily necessary exercises that I talked about earlier. In the course of my leisure time optimization, we incorporate them into our runs. That means running, practicing, taking pictures, recording videos and walking the dog, all rolled into one. Terrific! And that pays off when you're surprised by another dog, as it is the case here. But sometimes we just do nonsense, like when I try out how Nero reacts to push-ups. But now back to a bit of photography, and my second blunder, which of course I won't withhold from you. After all, you learn the most from mistakes, and I made this mistake because I wanted to take a few more photos just on the go. In the first picture I photographed the first autumn leaves. To separate them from the ground, I opened the aperture wide. When I found a few wild cyclamens and wanted to photograph them, I had of course completely forgotten about the open aperture. Not even my planned focus stacking was of any use as ghost flowers appeared. So notice, if you want to do focus stacking to make it fit, close the aperture just a little bit. Or something like that. Well, I'm really not a poet. But before we go to the last photo spot on our route, I wanted to show you how urgent the thinning of the heart of forest actually was. On the left you can see an unprocessed forest, and on the right the thinned area, which now lets through a lot more light than before. And here I found a tree stump that was illuminated by the morning sun. It served as a small platform for Nero to take a few more shots. Sitting up is not so easy, but Nero masters this challenge with zeal.
Yeah, this was our run today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Nero, was fun? Yeah. And see you the next time on the trail. And in the background you see our next destination. So, see you on the trail. Bye.
You are still here, so consider to leave a like or press the abo button. I would be very happy. So now really, bye.